So you want to be a Mirage main. You're getting tired of always being caught in a sand tornado watching as the enemy team comes to put you to rest. You're ready to be the one holding that Abrams in place while he swings his fist wildly. Well, you came to the right place. In this video guide, I'll be helping you become everything a Mirage main can be. Learning how to use this kit to its full abilities can be very tricky, and without having the right mindset, you could be teleporting right to your doom. To help you all out, I will be going over Mirage's strengths, weaknesses, playstyle, kit, a ridiculous Mirage build with skill upgrade paths, and specific tips for Mirage. We have a lot to go over, and Mirage has a Jhin to deliver, so sit back, relax, and let's go over his strengths. Mirage right now, as of this video, is an A to S tier character. That all comes down to the absurd amount of coverage Mirage has. With a kit that blends together to have many strengths in all parts of the game, it's no shocker that he currently holds a top place in Deadlock's meta. Tornado is one of the best abilities in the game for multiple reasons. With one ability, you get the option to either escape with complete invincibility or a rushdown CC crowd control that holds them in place. Did I forget to mention it cancels Bebop's bomb in Wraithful with good timing? Watch them lose their mind deciding if you're worth the ability to waste. Looks like you just missed that bullet, thanks to Tornado also giving Mirage bullet evasion. Mirage's gun comes with the third highest bullet velocity in the game with an insane hitbox, making it feel like you trained in aim labs a little too long. This all comes with very strong bullet damage that only gets scarier with headshots thrown into the mix. Oh, you thought Mirage had no sustain? Sorry, he has fire scarabs that allow Mirage to steal enemy HP and reducing their bullet reduction. Have you ever wished you could just make it to that fight a little quicker to confirm that kill or save your teammate? Well, Mirage can teleport to any hero that is seen on the minimap, friend or foe. Jhin's mark allows him to deal extra burst damage and a strong slow after just one upgrade, adding even more upside to using just one bullet. With all these strengths, is it really a shocker that Mirage can build into any type of damage, whether it's bullet, spirit, or hybrid? Just another strength that go on the Mirage strength pile. That's a lot of strengths, isn't it? But even Mirage has to deal with small setbacks that he has to play around to make sure he can continue to dominate the match around him. So let's talk about his weaknesses. Mirage is able to play extremely far away, but not if he plans on hitting anybody with Tornado, which is also his main escape. This can lead Mirage to overextending and committing with their only consistent escape option, leading to a very early death. His teleport is the definition of commitment. There is no going back on a teleport once you get there. Not only is it high commitment, while everyone else at 3000 souls gets a power spike, you get the ability to teleport to other lanes to help out, which really doesn't compare to Vindictus Sniper, Geist Swap, or Wraithful in the early game. Good opponents are going to play around your Jhin mark stacks, which can make it annoying to find openings in fights where you don't want to give up your positioning. This can force Mirage to put himself in bad spots to confirm his damage. Tornadoes always have to disappear at some point, and Mirage tends to fall off hard in the late game. While other heroes start to become hard carries, you're going to start to feel weaker and weaker. Even with such a strong hero, you can't just run into a match and dominate right away. Understanding their game plan is the most important part about playing any character, so let's go over how we should be playing Mirage. Early game into the mid game is where Mirage tends to shine. By focusing on your incredible burst damage and CC, you'll be putting a lot of characters into the grave before they really have a chance to find items to counter your kit. Tornado and Jhin's mark will be your best friend in every Mirage build. Tornado will be your main escape option and your main form of CC. You'll always be on the lookout for the chance to leave heroes stuck in the air while you unload all your abilities on them. You're going to spend a lot of fights finding opportunities to stack your Jhin's marks to start dwindling away at enemy heroes until they're in a spot where Tornado will allow you to finish them off, or an even better outcome would be a complete finish with activating Jhin's mark. Since Mirage has such a strong basic attack, this furthers your game plan of consistently harassing with pokes, understanding that your big payoff will come after activating Jhin's mark. Jhin's mark, unlike Infernus's Afterburn, has a cooldown before you can start stacking more of it. This means you have to be aware of how often you are shooting them while building the stacks up. The more stacks you build up, the higher Jhin's mark's overall spirit damage will be when you activate it. Poking from further away with fire scarabs is going to quickly set up enemies to start taking more bullet damage from the extra effect of reducing enemy bullet resistance, all while stealing HP from whoever is hit. A common combo with Mirage would be hitting an opponent with Tornado, instantly firing a fire scarab at them, then bursting them down with your good headshot damage. By the time they try to fight you or run away, the stacks from Jin's mark should take them out or deal enough damage to set them up for an easy kill. There's an obvious ability missing from this combo, and that is Traveler, Mirage's ultimate ability. That allows you to teleport to any visible hero on the map. This makes Mirage always be on the lookout for good situations to teleport to. Luckily, there are some very easy situations you can always instantly know are great teleports, whether it's a 1v1 that you can turn into a 2v1, an enemy hero pushed way too far towards a guardian/walker, or a team fight building up. When you finally arrive after your teleport, you want to look for an opportunity to use the combo I described before. One of the main issues with this combo becomes your lack of escape and mobility after using Tornado, so make sure you judge the situation correctly. If you don't see this fight going in your favor, save it as an escape. Now I know that's a lot to remember, especially if you are still trying to get a full understanding of how Mirage's kit works, so let's break down his kit very quickly. Mirage has a lot of options in their kit, but before we get into the breakdown of their kit, I would like to remind you all to like, comment the character you want next, and subscribe. I put a lot of time into these videos and the support means the world to me. Now let's get into Mirage's first ability, Tornado. Have you ever wished Abram's charge and Wraith's ult had a baby? Well, this is your baby right here. This ability turns Mirage into a tornado, sending Mirage 20 meters forward with a width of 3.5 meters. Any enemy heroes hit by Tornado will be lifted into the air where they can't move for 1 second before upgrades, all while they take 70 spirit damage, scaling with spirit for 0.7 per spirit. Tornado also gives Mirage 25% bullet evasion chance for 3.5 seconds, which means there is a 25% chance your bullet will not hit him. This all comes with a 32-second base cooldown. Don't forget, you are completely invulnerable while you're in your Tornado, which means it can cancel Wraith ult or Bebop bomb. Remember that enemy heroes can use their basic attack, abilities, melee, and parry in Tornado's CC, so they are not completely out of commission. The first upgrade that Tornado gets is a 0.4 second increase to the lift duration, adding up for a total of 1.4 seconds of lift time. The second upgrade that Tornado has is a 14-second cooldown reduction, making this crazy ability come back every 18 seconds. The final upgrade Tornado gets is an increase of 20% bullet evasion, making this ability give you 45% bullet evasion, which is almost a 50-50 chance your bullet will not hit. This does not work for melee attacks. It's time to sustain ourselves with Fire Scarabs. This ability lets Mirage throw up to 4 flaming scarabs forward. Each scarab thrown will steal 90 HP from enemy heroes, scaling with spirit power by 0.9. Fire Scarabs that hit enemy minions or jungles will heal only 25% of whatever the max health scarab is stealing. Unlike Lifesteal, this ability can give Mirage max HP at full HP, meaning at the start of the game, one scarab that hits an enemy hero will take him from 550 HP to 640 HP for 14 seconds or until he loses HP equivalent of that stolen. Fire Scarabs also debuffs any enemy hero hit by a scarab to have 10% less bullet resistance for 14 seconds. This ability cannot hit the same enemy twice, so you always want to be on the lookout to hit 4 targets. Once you activate Fire Scarabs, you have 5 seconds to launch your scarabs before they would disappear, going on a 40-second cooldown before you can throw 4 more. The first upgrade Fire Scarab gets is a 15-second cooldown reduction, which makes the overall cooldown 25 seconds. The second upgrade Fire Scarab gets is an extra 10% bullet resistance reduction for an overall reduction of 20%. The last upgrade for Fire Scarab is an extra 80 max health stolen per scarab. This adds up for a total of 170 HP stolen per scarab, scaling with spirit power for 0.9. Jin's Mark is the ability I see most people misunderstood how they actually get stacks onto people. This ability gives Mirage a passive ability where his bullets apply an increasing multiplier on the enemy hit, going from 1, 2, 4, and 8 before upgrades. These multipliers last for 4.5 seconds before activating on their own. There is a cooldown of every 2.5 seconds before you can apply another stack of multipliers, so you won't be able to play like Infernus and unload your whole mag to proc burn. You will have to be more methodical with your bullets. A good tell is the purple indicator on the enemy hit that lets you know you can apply another stack. The way these multipliers work can confuse players learning Mirage, so this is how it all breaks down. Depending on what multiplier you are at, you will do 12 spirit damage scaling with spirit power for 0.55 before upgrades or items, then multiply by the multiplier amount. This means with a stack of 8 you will do damage based off of 8 being the multiplier, times 12 being the base damage shown for Dijin's mark. This adds up for 96 damage. This ability will then reveal the enemy on the map for 3 seconds after you activate Jin's mark. These multipliers will always activate in one of 3 ways. Reaching max stacks will activate your multiplier, not extending your stack duration before 4.5 seconds passes, or activating Jin's mark's active ability. Jin's mark's active ability has a very low cooldown of 3 seconds, so you can choose when to activate your stacks most of the fight. The first upgrade Jin's mark gets is an 80% movement slow whenever you apply a multiplier of 2 times or more. The second upgrade for Jin's mark is a plus 4 second to the duration multiplier, meaning you have 8.5 seconds to get another stack on an enemy hero. This also increases the base damage by 10 for a total of 22 base damage. The final upgrade is a 0.75 second cooldown reduction between the time you can stack another multiplier, meaning every 1.75 seconds you can apply another stack. This also gives the ability to reach 12 stacks total for your multiplier. Now you see me, now you don't. Traveler allows Mirage to teleport to any visible hero on the minimap, whether it's a friend or a foe. This ability takes 2.5 seconds to channel, which means you will be a sitting duck until you activate it. But don't worry, when you finally arrive at your destination, you will come with a 2 meter a second speed buff and a 30% fire rate increase. Both of these buffs are going to last for 4 seconds. With a cooldown of 130 seconds before upgrades, the map will feel so small. The first upgrade Traveler gets is a 2 meter movement speed increase, adding up for a total of 4 meters a second. The next upgrade Traveler gets is a minus 40 second cooldown reduction, adding up for a total of 90 seconds of downtime. The final upgrade Traveler gets is a 3 second complete immunity to stun, silence, sleep, root, and Mo and Crow's favorite, disarm. This is what I think is the best upgrade path for Mirage, especially with the build I am showing you today. Our first ability we want to grab is Fire Scarab, as 90 extra HP, 90 spirit damage with bullet resist reduction is too good of an early game swing not to have. The next ability we want to make sure we grab is Jin's mark, as this allows us to already add to our decent poke damage in early lane. You might even get a well-timed activation to cancel their healing right. You'll get your first upgrade point after this, and you're going to put that 1 point into Fire Scarab to continue to siphon the enemy HP to uncomfortable amounts with a pretty low cooldown. Next, you go through your standard upgrades of getting your abilities you haven't gotten yet, which in this case would be Tornado and Traveler. You're also going to put 1 point into Jin's mark in this case. This is where the rest of the order gets very easy, as there isn't any 1 point upgrades you desperately need to grab from Traveler or Tornado, so you'll be maxing Jin's mark here. This is going to lead you into maxing Tornado, as its max upgrade allows you to consistently have a decent escape and CC. Finishing off this upgrade path by maxing Scarabs, then putting the rest of your points into Traveler. Now remember, every lane is different, every game is different. Going off this path does not mean it isn't a good choice. This is just the path I find myself consistently leaning towards. All that traveling sure has Mirage hungry for some stats that can amplify his game, so before we go over the build, let's go over what stats Mirage really wants to look out for in any Mirage build. Am I sounding like a broken record saying Mirage wants to focus on spirit power? You might be questioning quickly on why bullet damage isn't being talked about first. Well, in my experience so far, Mirage works best as a hybrid DPS focusing on both spirit and bullet damage. With there already being such strong weapon items that help with spirit power, I think it's important to lean into this fact by building into hybrid Mirage. So you want to focus on weapon items that give you spirit power too. Mirage has some of the best spirit scaling in the game. Stacking even more pushes absurd damage from low commitment fights, meaning you can finish off opponents from even further away with Jin's mark. Let's not forget with Jin's mark relying on Mirage's bullets hitting them, it's a no-brainer he wants to make sure he focuses on bullet damage to make sure they get into range to die from Jin's mark. With his insane headshot damage, his damage becomes terrifying no matter their resistance choice. This also leads Mirage to be starved for ammo, but that doesn't mean you need to focus on ammo percentage up items. Items that instantly reload Mirage's gun tend to work better in most cases. Finally, with so many durations in the kit that scale with ability duration, you want to find ways to fit ability duration into your build. Whether you are a tornado build, Djinn build, or hell, even a gun build, you want to make sure your debuffs, CCs, and buffs last as long as they can. Gun Mirage, Gun Mirage, Gun Mirage. Aren't you tired of just seeing Gun Mirage everywhere when you look at the build menu? Well, I was this way too, so I built this build just for us. This is my hybrid Djinn's Mark Mirage called Kata's Hybrid Burst. This build focuses on trying to make use of every single strength the Mirage has instead of focusing on one trick Mirage where we just hold down our fire button. This build wants us to focus on stacking multipliers and finding opportunities with Tornado to control the tempo of the fight. Playing from mid-range, you'll be a swing every single time you activate your multiplier, making opponents have to back off or commit to a fight at low HP where you have Tornado ready. With an interactive playstyle, you'll find yourself having a lot more fun expanding your usage of his kit using almost every option every fight while you feel like you outpace them at every corner. This build is not only good for high MMR games, it's also very beginner friendly as I have annotations on what to imbue, what to sell for our higher tier items, and if the item will be on your flex slot. The upgrade path I talked about earlier is also built right into the build, so you'll always know where your points are going. In this build, we focus on all the stats that I think really helps push Mirage in all parts of the game. In the early game, we have items like Ammo Scavenger, Mystic Burst, and extra health to help control your lane until you get into your mid game where items like Return Fire, Surge of Power, and Toxic Bullets really start to make you snowball out of control. Then you're going to get even more mid game items until you reach your key late game components like Leech, Mystic Reverb, and Spiritual Overflow. With so many gun Mirages running around, I hope you really love my hybrid Mirage build. Items in Deadlock are very polarizing depending on which character they're on, and for Mirage I want to highlight two incredible items to use for Mirage, those items being Surge of Power and Return Fire. Keep in mind Toxic Bullets and Ricochet are also very important in a lot of Mirage builds too, but we went over them in our Infernus guide, so you can check out their main strengths in that video after this guide. Let's start with Surge of Power first. One of the main things we always look out for on items is what additional stats do they bring, and Surge of Power only brings in 75 bonus HP, but its imbue effect is crazy strong on Mirage. This item allows you to imbue an ability to give it plus 34 spirit power, a 10% fire rate, and a move speed bonus of 2 meters a second. Both of these buffs last for 6 seconds. Now the fire rate and move speed bonus only activate every 10.5 seconds, which is shorter than most cooldowns, so it won't always be up, unless you imbue it into your Djinn's Mark. This works because Djinn's Mark has a cooldown of 2.5 seconds and can be activated without having any stacks on anybody, so this will allow you to activate Surge of Power every 10.5 seconds, giving you a movement speed buff anywhere on the map. This isn't even speaking about the insane spirit damage increase that you're going to get with your multipliers too. Our final item we will be going over today is Return Fire. As of this video, this is an overtuned active item that adds so much survivability and damage to Mirage. Right off the bat, this item gives us the most bonus HP out of any tier 2 vitality item in the game with an extra 125, not to mention the 9 spirit power this item also gives. Then we get into the active effect, which is the bane of every glass cannon's existence. This active item automatically fires a bullet towards any attacker who damages Mirage. Whether it's an ability or weapon, the bullet fire back will either do 60% of the bullet damage taken or 30% of the spirit damage taken, which can lead to crazy swings in a fight. Not only that, but you also get a nice 20% bullet resistance on top of that. This active ability effect lasts for 6 seconds, which is plenty of time to either start retreating while deterring attackers or finish off an opponent who had to fight you. While this does not work when you evade a bullet with Mirage's bullet evasion, what this is going to do is allow you to survive longer while they are still missing shots. Then when they finally hit you, you're going to do damage back to them. This is one of the best power spikes you can get in the early game with Mirage. Before we finish this video, let's quickly go over some tips that you need to remember with Mirage. 1. Surge of Power works on Djinn's Mark for a speed boost every 10.5 seconds. 2. Tornado is completely invulnerable and can cancel out abilities that reach you in Tornado. Abilities like Wraithbolt will be cancelled, Bebop Bomb will not do damage, and 7 Stun will be cancelled. 3. Djinn's Mark has a base cooldown of 2.5 seconds before you can put another stack. Time your shots to continue building up stacks. 4. Fire Scarabs can give you max HP over your base HP, so don't be scared to use it at full HP. 5. Mirage does insane headshot damage, aim high. And 6. Take your time learning Mirage and accept that mistakes are going to happen. The worst thing you can do is just beat yourself up. Learn from them, get better, and you're gonna get there. Now that you made it to the end of this guide, you have a Jhin to deliver, so get out there with Mirage. Remember, it always takes time to learn a new character, so don't give up and remember all the tips in this video. I would really like it if you liked, comment the next hero you want, and subscribed. I put a lot of time in these videos learning Mirage, building the build, writing the script, editing the video, and it always means a lot when I see the support or advice everyone gives me. I do stream on Twitch at Kate of the Owl, and I do plan on making more guides on Deadlock. Thank you again, and see you next time.